up, shot won't fall. Wilson, what looks like over the back, but
oh boy,
jump ball is the call.
Wow, Stephanie White's upset about that. Wow, watch this. That's a jump ball?
They say a single frame can crack an empire. On July 3rd, inside a roaring Gainbridge Fieldhouse, cameras caught Las Vegas star A'ja Wilson soaring straight over Indiana's Lexi Hull, a textbook over the back. Hull boxed out like a clinic demo. Wilson climbed her shoulders like a ladder, and the refs called a jump ball. The broadcast team gasped. Fever coach Stephanie White threw her hands skyward. Thousands of live stream chats erupted with one word: rigged. The clip raced across X, Reddit, Threads, even Facebook grandma timelines, clocking 10 million views in 48 hours. For months, fans muttered that WNBA whistles favor the biggest names. In this moment, rumor felt like revelation. But the outrage wasn't about one missed foul. It was about a growing belief that the entire officiating system has snapped under the league's record-setting spotlight. Tonight, we're unpacking how that viral jump ball ignited a rebellion, why coaches on both benches blasted the refs, why players from Angel Reese to Nafisa Collier say it's getting worse, and why Commissioner Kathy Engelbert now faces a credibility crisis she can't wave away. If you crave raw truth over corporate spin, stick around and drop your Fix the Whistle ideas in the comments when we're done. Quick breath. The ride starts fast and never slows. Rewind the tape. Third quarter, Fever up double digits. Hull seals her spot under the rim. Knees bent, hips low, arms ready to cradle the rebound. Wilson, late to the party, leaps from behind, arms draped over Hull's shoulders, full body weight crashing forward. Rule 10, Section 5 of the WNBA handbook calls that illegal verticality, automatic foul, fever ball. Instead, lead official Maria Laura slaps palms together, jump ball. Hull's teammates freeze, mouths open. On the sideline, Caitlin Clark, nursing a groin strain. Mouths, you've got to be kidding. In isolation, a blown call can be forgiven. But context is everything. Indiana hadn't beaten Las Vegas in 16 tries. They were missing the most watched player on earth. And still, they were embarrassing the defending champs. That made the whistle feel less like human error and more like cosmic intervention. Within minutes, Whistle Wilson was trending worldwide. Fever fans clipped the play, slowed it to half speed, added yellow highlighter circles around Wilson's elbow, and posted side-by-side screen caps titled Evidence A. Even neutral analysts called it indefensible. Viewers who'd never watched a full WNBA quarter suddenly joined the fray. Think pieces surfaced. Is star protection ruining women's hoops? Conspiracy memes sprouted about Vegas owner Mark Davis's NFL ties buying favorable calls. Silly? Maybe, but that's what happens when trust fractures. One bad whistle can breed 1,000 wild theories, and the league had nothing but a bland no comment to counter the storm. Tease for next. Yet numbers, not anecdotes, ultimately confirm bias, or debunk it. So let's crunch the figures that fueled the fire. Flip to the stat sheet from that same game. A'ja Wilson attempted 13 free throws. The entire Fever roster, 12 players, earned 17. One superstar nearly equaled an entire squad at the line. This isn't an isolated spike. Through the first half of 2025, Wilson ranks top 3 league-wide in free throw rate, despite taking fewer shots in the restricted area than Aaliyah Boston or Nafisa Collier. Plot the last 10 Aces outings, and a pattern emerges. In 7 games, Wilson's charity stripe trips eclipse the opponent's second highest total. Stat Junkies on /RWNBAREFWATCH compile spreadsheets proving Vegas averages a 7-shot whistle advantage whenever Wilson logs 30-plus minutes. They've christened her Whistle Wilson. a nickname that is now leapt from comment threads onto live broadcasts. But bias talk isn't confined to Vegas. Chicago rookie Angel Reese, fresh off a July 7th loss where the Sky shot 8 free throws to Minnesota's 17, unloaded at the press podium. "I'm tired of this and it has to be fixed." Reporters gasped. League officials scribbled notes. Fans roared approval. Reese doubled down on X. "Do better at WNBA." Nafisa Collier, veteran and union vice president, echoed the complaint days earlier in the Washington Post. "I think it's getting worse." When multiple franchises, from rookies to MVPs, scream the same refrain, consistency or bust, you know the numbers aren't lying. But raw data only sets the stage. Courtside audio supplied the fireworks. Las Vegas coach Becky Hammon, a 2-time champion famous for ice-cold composure, stormed into her post-game presser looking ready to throttle a clipboard. "They were grabbing and holding us. It's a rugby match, and my team doesn't want to play rugby back, so we got our eights kicked." Period. Pause on that. Her aces received the friendlier whistle, yet she blamed refs for undercalling physicality. That's an indictment of game control, not bias for or against one side. Opposite bench, Stephanie White had already paid a fine in June for ripping officiating. On July 3rd, she upped the ante, charging halfway onto the floor with 5:35 left, voice slicing through the PA before collecting a technical. Fever up by 20+, game in hand. Yet White risked ejection to make a point. Enough is enough. Caitlin Clark erupted off the pine, slapping teammates' hands, later offering to pay her coach's fine out of her own endorsement stash. 2 elite coaches, both publicly torched by the league for earlier comments, now unified in condemnation. That's not rivalry propaganda. It's bipartisan revolt. And once generals revolt, troops follow. So how are players voicing dissent without drawing texts? Watch their body language. Flash to Chicago 2 nights later. Angel Reese claps sarcastically after a phantom loose ball foul, mutters, "Unbelievable," gets tapped with a T, shrugs, and walks to the huddle grinning. Cameras catch it, Twitter loops it, symbolism achieved. Minnesota's Collier holds post-game ice packs to claw marks on her arms. "I drive every possession and see 6 free throws? Come on!" Kelsey Plum, Los Angeles guard, points to blood trickling from her elbow on live TV. "I'm sick of ticky-tack calls protecting jump shooters while I get hammered." Lexi Hull's frustration in the viral clip is just as loud. She slaps her forearm, looks dead at the ref, mouths, "That's over the back." No whistle, no answer. Moments later, she stares into the baseline camera lens as if pleading directly to fans. You saw that, right? Those silent protests compile into a highlight reel of exasperation. Viewers tag the league in every clip with the hashtag #, fix the whistle. By now, even casual SportsCenter scrollers know the tropes. Raised eyebrows, arms outstretched in disbelief, superstars shaking heads in bemused resignation. It's a universal language, the on-court equivalent of a strike sign. But why has the standard slipped so far? The answer hides behind salary sheets and training schedules. Unlike NBA officials, WNBA refs are per-game contractors. One whistle nets roughly $1,800. Yet the same official can bank nearly $5,000 a night in top NCAA conferences. That pay disparity forces many to juggle winter college gigs, spring training camps, and summer league calendars. Burnout looms. Institutional memory evaporates every offseason. Monty McCutcheon, the league's officiating gazar, admits the roster skews young, 35 refs on average, and turnover is real. With that young staff, there's going to be growing pains, he concedes. Meanwhile, players grow bigger, faster, stronger. The paint is a pinball machine of elbows and head-swiveling drives. Without full-time immersion, referees struggle to calibrate contact thresholds. One night, They swallow the whistle, and a game turns into rugby as Hammond barked. Next night, they overcorrect, whistling hand checks like flag football. Fans notice, coaches fume, Twitter tallies the inconsistency. Another thorn, accountability opacity. NBA refs face public last 2-minute reports grading their decisions. WNBA crews do not, leaving missed calls to fester in rumor. When transparency is scarce, suspicion fills the void. Under this strain, the league's PR playbook has gone from damage control to outright triage. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert tried a deflection in late June. Funny, the winning team never complains about refs. The clip felt tone-deaf, spreading faster than any polished promo. When the product's integrity is questioned, shrugging invites backlash. Why so sensitive? Because the W just inked an 11-year, $2.2 billion media rights monster. Every network exec watching the jump ball debacle wondered if headlines would shift from historic growth to potentially rigged outcomes. Sponsors hate controversy minus resolution. Fans hate feeling duped. Beneath the boardroom tension sits a physical one. Concussions this season to Wilson, Shakira Austin, and Paige Buchers occurred on uncalled or late-called high hits. A rules book says protect the shooter. Reality shows stars sprawled on hardwood while refs wave play on. Player safety plus broadcast dollars equals combustible mix. With stakes sky high, the league can't patch holes with boilerplate statements. Real reforms for referees and replay must land. Here's the blueprint fans and insiders champion. We need 5 steps to restore trust. 1. Full-time whistles, year-round training. Make officiating a salaried career, not a summer side hustle. Continuous tape study, biomechanic workshops, and G League crossover experience would sharpen instincts. 2nd, transparent grading system. Publish referee accuracy percentages weekly. NBA-style last 2-minute reports, plus downloadable data sets satisfy stat geeks and keep crews honest. 3. Expanded coaches challenge. Each side gets 2 challenges. Retain 1 if successful. Force refs to face slow-mo evidence immediately, reducing game-changing gaffes. 4. Replay command center. A dedicated Secaucus-style hub can correct obvious errors, like Hull Wilson, within 30 seconds, without grinding games to a halt. 5. Escalating penalties for serial misses. Miss a critical call once, retraining. Miss it twice, docked assignments, thrice, suspension. Players lose minutes for mistakes, refs should too. Layer a players' union seat on the officiating committee so the governed help shape governance. Only then will locker room grumbling fade. A league that just sold the most lucrative deal in its history can afford to protect that investment with competent whistles. July 3rd's jump ball fiasco stripped the blindfold from casual viewers. In slow motion, fans witnessed the rules bent, saw coaches explode, sensed players collective enough. Now the ball sits in the league office's court. A transparent overhaul could turbocharge trust, proving women's basketball deserves the same officiating rigor as the NBA. Ignoring the uproar risks rotting the golden boom from within. So I'll leave you with the same question that opened our journey, but flipped. If one